Dear my fellow artists and entrepreneurs, congratulations for choosing by far one of the most challenging professions or hobbies that you could possibly undertake in the human form. It is absolutely no secret that creating art is a spiritual challenge that brings to light all of your internal doubts, fears, insecurities, lack of confidence, all of your attachments, clingings, your secret forcefulness, anger, your inability to let go and surrender and to allow things to be as they actually are, your attachment and your expectations. Oh my God, your expectations. All of these expectations for how it should go, how it should look, how it needs to come out. And it's no secret that all of these expectations prevent you from just showing up and doing your very best to put something out that helps another human being here on planet Earth. Because remember, if you're an artist, or you're a business owner, or you're just trying to create something, a charity, some kind of organization, a movement, you're creating something. What's it for? Is it to boost your own ego so that you can get famous, so that you can be worshipped and seen as perfect, and so everyone could bow down to you and think, wow, he made a perfect piece of art. That guy or that girl must have no flaws because they're so perfect, they're so smart, they're so skilled at their craft. I wish I could be like them. Secretly, you need to really tune into your motivations. Remember that art and business is not about you being worshipped. It's about remembering that it doesn't have to be perfect in order to really impact another person's life. And in the beginning, it's very important, especially if you're just starting off as an artist, even if you're an experienced artist, you still need to hear this. Going back to the basics of just having a consistent practice of creating something with that intention to help to inspire, to uplift, to motivate, to awaken, just to share that love from your heart, that intention to create your art consistently on a daily basis, ideally, and to publish it even if it's not perfect. This is so important. I understand you're an artist, you have high expectations for yourself, and you have high goals. And that's a very noble thing, and I support that. You are a divine creature, and you want your creations to reflect the divine. You want them to be perfect the way you've visualized it in your mind. But realistically, we don't live in heaven, we live on earth. And on earth, there's ants that bite your feet, and there's mosquitoes that bite you in the middle of your videos. And there's terrible lighting, and there's people walking by you as you're trying to record, and there's wind that blows your paintbrush over and spills the paint all over the easel, all over the canvas. So, can you develop the ability to accept and include the imperfections in your art and to actually celebrate them, to realize that they actually are the art? The imperfection in the art is the best part of the art in many cases. There's a lot of movies, for example, like I think of Full Metal Jacket, one of my favorite movies. The first third of the movie is probably one of the most famous military scenes in all of movie history. It's like this Navy SEAL training scene. That entire first third of the movie, it's so good and it's improvised. Many famous movie scenes, like even in Goodfellas, that famous scene, I'm funny. Funny how? What do you mean I'm funny? What, am I like a clown to you or something? These famous movie scenes, or here's Johnny. These are all like horror movies and war movies, but these are all improvised. They weren't pre planned, they weren't premeditated. They're fresh, they're real, they're authentic. They came out of the actual moment. That's what makes it relatable. If your art is always trying to be perfect, there's actually like a weird taste about it. People can kind of tell, like, oh, like, it's just like he's trying to cover up his flaws, or she's trying to pretend that her shit doesn't stink, and she's not able to just like be vulnerable. So the practice of shipping imperfect art is so powerful for you just to overcome and to get over yourself a little bit and realize it's not about you. It's about helping other people on earth. You don't have to be the master of reality to help people. You don't have to have everything figured out to help a single person. I'm sure there's a couple things in your life that you've figured out on your 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years on earth. I'm sure there's a thing or two that you've learned that just from the bottom of your heart, like just genuinely, like human to human here, genuinely can just help another person deeply. Not trying to force them to be different, not trying to change them, not trying to prove you're better than them or more qualified than they are, not trying to flex, but just really just genuinely like, hey, like I've struggled with this problem a lot in my life, and here's the solution that I found worked for me. And it doesn't have to be that. It could be a painting that you make. You don't have to be the best painter in the world, but you have to realize that all the best artists practice in public. Like Picasso, for example, he published over 50,000 paintings in his entire career. That's what's known as a prolific artist. I'm sure not all of those paintings were perfect. In fact, I'm actually not a big fan of a lot of Picasso's work. Maybe I'm uncultured or whatever it is. But the point is that reality isn't perfect. Life isn't perfect, and that's actually what makes it perfect. The imperfection in the masterpiece is what makes it the masterpiece, because it's able to like accept and love itself exactly as it is. All right, guys, so the action step from this video: ship imperfect art. Okay, make it a daily practice. When I say shipping, what that means, shipping, is that it means it actually has to be out the door. Okay, when you ship something, that means it's done. It doesn't have to be 100% done, but it has to be enough done so that it's actually out the door. It's a finished product. Even if it's like not the best product, it still has to be out, because finished is better than perfect. Because perfect doesn't exist. There is no perfect. That's why finished is better than perfect. When you finish something, when you have this pedigree of shipping, you have to be really tough on yourself a little bit with this shipping mentality. I need to ship my art. It needs to go out. If I'm a musician, I need to make a song, even if it's not a good song. And in the beginning, when you first start, it won't be a good song. Don't listen to your own judgments about the art, because trust me, every single artist hates their own stuff. Today, my girlfriend showed me this amazing podcast that she made. It was like life-changing. It was 20 minutes long. I'll leave a link in the description. You can go check it out. It was like the most profound transmission of conscious information I've ever heard. It was about the throat chakra. She was listening to it and she's like, I don't know. I'm always so scared of putting it out. I feel like I don't even know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, babe, this is like literally a masterpiece. And then I've had other people do the same with me where I was like, oh, I hate this video, I suck, what's wrong with me? And then I show it to my friend and he's like, dude, this is the best video I've ever watched in my entire life. So you have to remember that you are always your own worst critic by far. And my meditation teacher, actually, I was talking to him one day. I was telling him how I make videos and stuff. And he was like, yeah, man, the only thing you got to watch out for when you make these kinds of videos is you need to realize that the way that it comes out is the way that it was supposed to come out. So when you trip over your words, or you make a mistake, or there's a noise in the background, or you forget what to say, you can use this for whatever example you use in your own personal life. If you're a painter, if you spill the paint or you do the wrong stroke or whatever it is, you need to trust that the way it came out was the way it was divinely supposed to come out. And you need to humble yourself here. You need to stop thinking that you know what it needs to be. A lot of times I just turn on the camera and I just talk. I don't even know what it needs to be. I need to be humble so that it can just be what it is. Allowing the transmission, as long as the intention is love, the intention is to help you actualize, to become better, to help you grow and expand, to help you awaken ultimately. As long as that's the intention, just whatever comes out after that, just assume it's perfect according to some higher divine plan. A lot of people leave me comments and they say, Adam, I love when you trip over your words. I don't know why. It's just like hilarious when you start stuttering. And I'm like, what? That makes no sense. Okay, so you need to keep this in mind for you. Don't think that you know what it needs to look like. Try your best to have a vision, but then at the end of the day, and it's time to perform, you got to just kind of trust your instincts and just do the best you got. And to ship. It's got to be shipped. It's got to be packaged. There's got to be a bow tie on it. It's got to have a cover. If it's a song, it's got to be an album cover, whatever it is. It's got to be shipped out the door. It's got to be out, because then once you ship, you can focus on the next one. Focus on the next one, on the next one. This is practicing in public. This is how you get good. Remember, guys, you have to get going before you get good. Say it again, ready? You have to get going before you get good. There needs to be this artistic momentum where you're creating something daily. And some days it's shit. It doesn't matter because it's shipping. It has to be out. Now you might think, Adam, what about my reputation? There we go. See, you're making it about you. It's not about you. Screw your reputation. It's not about you being the king of the castle and everyone worships you. It's about them, helping your audience, inspiring them, uplifting them. Even just the willingness to show up and not be perfect, that vulnerability, that in itself is valuable for another person. So you got to get over yourself a little bit. Don't worry about your reputation. You got to just be humble here, and you need to consistently ship imperfect art. Now, one of the last things that you want to keep in mind when creating art is that if you don't feel good inside your body, like if you're eating crap food, you're smoking tons of drugs, and you're watching tons of TV and Netflix and YouTube all day, you're not meditating, you're not breathing properly, you're not exercising, you're not reading books, you're not inspiring yourself, you're not going out in nature, you're not enjoying your life, then it's going to be impossible for you to create art, because you're not going to have enough space to consider the needs of others, and you're not going to have enough love in your heart to help them. You're going to hate your life, you're going to feel like your stomach hurts, and you're going to be in pain and all this. So that's why in my coaching program, And on this channel as well, the links down below for the coaching, and just I have tons of free videos on this channel as well. I talk about how to make your insides and your emotions, your mind, everything. How do you make yourself feel good and happy based on timeless principles of self-actualization that I've devoted the last 8 years of my life to collecting. I've read hundreds of books, listened to tens of thousands of hours of lectures, audio programs. I've hired my own coaches, etc. I've scoured far and wide. I've been across the world and lived in monasteries just to collect the information. How does a human being actually produce a state of fulfillment inside oneself, so that we can actualize our full potential to share our gift with the world? That's what I'm interested in helping you to do here on this channel. That's what I also help people do closely one-on-one in my coaching community. There in the description, you can click below to join. Otherwise, I hope this help was helpful for you. To please ship some imperfect art. We're literally waiting for you. The world is waiting for your gift, but you're just holding it back because you think it needs to be perfect, because you're scared of being judged. And I'm saying, hey, it's not about you. It's about, even if you put something out that helps one single person, everyone else who sees it hates it, but it helps one person, just one person. Isn't that worth it at the end of the day, to transform one single person's life? Isn't that what it's about at the end of the day? So keep that in mind. Even if everyone hates it, if you can get to reach one person and just help that one person, then it will all be worth it. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.